Hey guys, it is Monday, so yes, it is time to talk about deck lists. And this weekend was the last WGP qualifier, third stage qualifier, so after this, I think it's only nationals. But then also, we have the finals of Vanguard Masters Cup, VMC, for Spring. Now, this was supposed to be done in February, but because of stuff, they're doing it now, which is kind of unlucky because if we did it in February, we had a great look at a metagame that is kind of not as explored, but nowadays, a lot has been figured out. So let's just start with VMC 2020, and we've got the top four here. We've got some really famous names, actually. We've got Alpaca winning the whole thing. We've got Momiji coming second. Then we've got Esse coming in third, and then fourth place, we got Army Pen. Now, let's take a look at what these guys play, but I think it has already been discussed everywhere, because it's actually pretty simple. Luards. So, I mean, we've been seeing Luard a long time. This is basically, I would say this is the culmination of all the Luard decks. This is like the top build, the perfect build. When you ask, oh, do I run these? Do I have to run this? No, you don't. You just, this is basically the build. This is the core build already. So, the 8 grade 3s, we've got Drag Heart and Drag Driver. Yeah, Drag Driver is not a bad alternate ride, crazy enough. You only run 8 grade 2s, so basically just 4 Mephiesa, 4 Leofal. And then, yes, there's no knees here. We have basically 3 Swells, and then 4 Abyssal Owls, bumping it up. This is the one copy of Dectron they run, which allows your front rows to get intercepts. And then grade 1s to get intercept. You run the 4 Brandwin, just so you can always get a better ride every single time. Well, at least get your grade 3s. 2 Charons with the counter charge out. People have been asking about why run Abyss Router or Router, but I think it's Router, right? So at first it sounds like a pretty like scuffed. Oh, why you just Soul Blast 1 and then call a grade 0 just a hand filter feels bad, right? You didn't even run draw triggers except for the null, so it's pretty bad. But no. It's on place, so you call this out from Mephiesa and then you get 5 attacks. So instead of running Apocalypse Spat, you just run this. And then you're like, well, this is only 7k and a trigger's like, a grade 0 is only like 5k. So it seems pretty lame, but don't worry, you're Luard. You're like 3 Gear Chronicles in one. You get all those force markers for free. Everything just hits like a truck, no matter how small your base power is. So yeah, this basically allows you to get the 5 attacks. And lastly, run 1 Nightmare Painter just because you do use some soul, but 1 is enough to get everything back. And then 8 crits, 4 draws, and 4 heals. So, it like, when you think about it, when you're running Abyss Router, or Ruda, you think you might want to like run more like some draw triggers, but you know, 8 crit is just better. It doesn't matter if you call 1 out just to get the extra attacks, because your hand is big. At some point, you can't guard anyway without a null, so... yeah, that's 8 crit. Alright. Alpaca 1S, he's a pretty famous player. I think we've seen him quite a lot on the topping lists. This is how he went for the day. So, first round he had a bye, which is probably the best thing you can have at a Bushiro tournament. I don't know if it's like a bye because he didn't have to face a player, or was it? I think it was like 36 players, so I don't think there was an ability, like you couldn't just face no one. So I think this could be like a bye where you got a bye from like a buy card, I don't know. But second, he played Maelstrom. Then third, fourth, fifth, sixth, he played against Luards. And then in the finals, he just played Luard and Luard. So I don't think they did diversity cut in VMC. So you can kind of see where I'm coming from, where, you know, just bring the Luards. he was X1 with a buy. So, yeah, but I think there were 36 players. So overall, that doesn't sound right. Like, 6 rounds for 36 players, it should be 5, but 6 kind of skews the numbers a bit, so maybe he either just got in like that, or, yeah, I think he might have gone lucky, etc, etc, but yeah, that's how he went. You can see his deck in all its glory. We can see that his trophy, pretty cool, but yeah, this is his deck in a real-life form. You know, 10th anniversary stuff, some Bang Dream force markers, a lot of Aichis, crazy. And yeah, so that's basically the deck. Let's look at second place. Second place is basically the exact same deck. So this is why I'm talking about how this is the the perfected build, the final form of the build. This is literally the exact same deck, except the guy runs full bow as his starter, and I think he has like maybe a different coded heal trigger. He's got several different coded cards. So if you look at it, yeah, bam, you see this guy runs 4 of 1 heal trigger. Oh, he has SP. He has got SP draw nulls. So yeah, that's another difference. But this one doesn't have SP draw nulls. But yeah, this is why I'm saying this is the perfect list. And I know a lot of people will be like, it's Luard, dude. Why would I care? Well, you know, Luard is coming out very soon. If you just want a shortcut to greatness, then this is basically the deck that you could probably just build, right? One thing is though that this is in the new meta with Bluestorm Cavalry. What I'm guessing is that not that many people brought Bluestorm Cavalry cards because they wanted to play a deck that we're very comfortable with, one that is very consistent. So things like Shiranui, maybe they haven't really found out the perfected build, but guys have had heaps of time to find the perfected build for Luard. So if you're going to something like this tournament, especially when every single other player is a very strong player, and it's like 6 rounds, you have to be super consistent, then I can see why people really went for Luard. And then third place, we do have another Luard. This one is the Apocalypse Bat build, which is kind of more different than normal. I think it's S's deck. So yeah, here's one run Apocalypse Bats. This is just for the extra attack. I think that's the only big difference. The rest of the deck is exactly the same. What did he take out for this? Let me quickly take a look. So he took out Chariots? No way. No, Rooters. What am I saying? It's just Rooters, dude. Yeah, so he just replaced the Rooters with Apocalypse Bat. That's basically it. Essa went bye. He had a first round bye as well. Then he played against Luard, Gear Chronicle, Luard, and then he lost at Luard's the top cut. So yeah, crazy amount of mirrors. And then I think there's one more, Luard, and this one is just... This one runs knees. This one runs knees. He doesn't run Rooter or Apocalypse Bat, so at max, he gets only 4 attacks. So I guess it has a less high ceiling. He came 4th. So basically it looks like every single... every deck, every Shadow Paladin deck that could attack 5 times beat the Shadow Paladin deck that could attack 4 times. Alright, so that's basically it. Let's move on to WGP, the final WGP. We have WGP Osaka. This was won by Kazu-san. Then second place was Kimti-san. Third place was Berabo-san. And then fourth place was Bataru-san. So let's take a look at what won. So first place, Kaguru. Okay. Yeah, kind of not surprised. I mean, we've seen a lot of Luard today. It's a nice change, but in the end, Kaguru is just, Overlord is just this deck that doesn't really care about what it plays against. If it high rolls, it high rolls. If it doesn't, then you just feel bad. But if you don't want to bring Luard to a tournament, especially with a tournament with diversity cut, don't forget, then your other options are basically like Overlord, Shiranui, things like that, which either are considered to be one of the better decks, or are also just a deck that doesn't care about what it plays against. Like Gear Chronicle as well. Great ways to like try to get into the diversity cut, right? Second place was Luard. Surprise, surprise. This one is pretty much the VMC list, except no, he runs 4 Swells and he runs the Apocalypse Bat. So that's basically the difference. What's the difference between this one? Let me take a look. So, oh no, he does. I don't think he runs Techron, does he? Yeah, I think that's the difference. So 1 more Swell, -1 Techron. Yeah, Luard, again, very consistent and good. We do have a matchup. I think he played against Luard in Swiss, and Shiranui Robot. So I don't know what Robot is. Nova Grapplers? Dementia Police? And then he played against a Kaguru. Yeah, so he made top cut. Third place we have... Is this WGP? We've got Dimension Police. Huh. That was unexpected. But yeah, so I guess if you X1 with Dimension Police, you automatically get in to top 4. Huh. Okay, that's not expected deck. Thought there'd be another Luard, but I guess the robot meant Dimension Police. So yeah, only two twin orders, I guess, which means it's much more affordable if you want to build this in English. But well, he's got 4 Blood Blacks, 2 die liners only. I guess you don't care about defense, you're just gonna go face. What this deck seems to be able to do is every turn you can reride your Vanguard. You're on Great Dayusha here. And then you run this big Ultraman, Gingard. So if your Vanguard's grade is less than your opponent's grade, this gets plus 15k shield, so it becomes a 20k shield. So I guess this kind of solves the problem of Dimension Police having kind of a weak shield lineup, because he is running some weird cards here. He's got a 30k Sentinel crit, only 1 though, but then he's running 2 vanilla draws. And then he's running a lot of grade 3s, as you would expect from Dimension Police. Is 12 all up, it seems. So I guess this is kind of nice. If you go second, this gives him at least some defensive option from just immediately just taking 1 billion damage. At the same time, I guess if you play against like a deck like Lambros or any deck that goes to grade 4, like a Gear Chronicle as well, this comes in handy because now you can guard some of his attacks for, like, it just gets more guard value, right? Grade 3, so a bunch of cards that get you grade 3, which is nice as well. It's only running 2 Die Brave, I guess. You probably don't have slots for it, I guess. But I guess this Dimension Please is just a very early game focused rush deck that you want to just keep on riding your Vanguard and try to just win as quick as possible. Because again, if you play against Loads, you don't have time to play the long game. And then lastly, we have Shiranui. Now, we've seen Shiranui last time, and it's considered to be one of the better decks in the format. I think some people are describing it as tier 1. Last time we saw the Mizukaze build, where you run the Shiranui and Mizukaze. This person's still running Mizukaze because he's just a really good card in the deck, able to put on basically unbuckled pressure, because 4 attacks, you play Mizukaze, you don't have 4 grays to guard. And when you use your 0 and your 1s, then your 2s basically don't matter because you hit over the 2 line pretty easily. Like, if your opponent has to like commit 3 2s from their hand, you're basically winning anyway. And they still have to take a damage. So Mizukaze is great. He's only running 2 though, which is kind of interesting because he puts in some Jamio Congos, which I don't know why. Like, it seems, I don't know. But I guess, okay, here's the thing, right, is sometimes you have some awkward situations where you have Mizukazes, but you don't want to use the effect because you only have 2 grade 3s in Soul for Shiranui, just 2. So you don't want to Soul Blast one of the 3s out, or otherwise you'll lose the drive checks. One thing you can do with Jamio is Jamio cuts your opponent's hand down to 4, but you've got this new card that come out. It's Gumado. Basically, when it comes into play, you may counterblast 1, your opponent has to call a card from their hand, and then the auto effects don't proc off. So what this is, you Jamio them, they go down to 4, then this basically, you play this card down. This is basically like a discard. If they don't have a 2 in their hand, they're basically just wasting cards from their hand. That's pretty much it. But this also has some nice synergy with Mizukaze, because that called card counts towards the call, so if they had to call a 1, then they're screwed. And they can't call any more 1s for that turn. So this has some nice little synergy here. He's running 4 of the PR. This PR is probably one of the most important PRs, because it just grabs you Shiranuis. And you can bounce it to grab more Shiranuis. Other thing is, like, you're running things like Furai bounces, Magatsu Gale bounces as well. These allow you to just bounce key cards, so you can keep on bouncing your Mizukaze to keep on reusing it. Keep on bouncing like this card to keep on, use it next turn. It's basically what you want to use next turn if you want to shoot them more, or you want to keep on putting on pressure. Just bounce that card, and next turn you can play it again. So I'm liking Shiranui after testing the Mizukaze build, putting more draws, and then testing the PR. This PR is actually very, very important. I don't know if the deck will be that consistent without it, but after testing it, it's a really, really strong deck and kind of unexpected. I thought Shiranui was pretty clunky, but I guess PRs solve all our problems, and hopefully they're coming in the clan selection, or maybe hopefully before, because if it comes out before, then this deck becomes really, really strong. So yeah, that's it for today. I know people are just sick of Luad by now, but don't worry guys, Luad is coming out very soon in English, so you're going to be seeing more of that. Now, I guess one thing we have to say is, does Luad need to get hit again? And I think the answer is probably yes. Because they hit the main. I think the people that say the main hit was wrong. They should have hit something else. I guess if you look at it through the lens of Bushiroad, right? It was an emergency ban list. They're basically trying to make sure that the superior ride deck is not the problem, because that was very unintended. I mean, although some people could see that a mile away, but for them it was unintended. So pure Luad is still dominating, which was, I don't know if people expect. I know, like, when they hit in the main, right? People are like, this doesn't do anything. People can just normally just superior ride into, still just like normally draw the superior ride engine. So it basically doesn't do anything. Luad is still tier 1. And they were half right, because no one is running that superior ride engine anymore. People just run pure Luad. And I know a lot of people said pure Luad is just not good. People will just run the superior ride Luad, but they were wrong. Because pure Luad just turns out to be better. So they were half right though. They were half right. Luad is still very strong. But if you wanted to just hit out the superior ride deck, then hitting the main was probably correct. I mean, they could have hit Bendy. They could have hit like PBD, like do a choice restriction like that. But the main, again, means that you don't have to buy the 5k in the mains to go into your deck, which is, I mean, kind of okay. What do they hit next? I don't know. They might have to errata the card to make it more in line with something like full Bronto, you know, where you only get 2 imaginary gifts a turn, or they might just do something else with it. So that ban list will happen in November sometime. It should be after the WGP. I don't think they'll do another ban list that happens before the end of WGP, because there's only, like, I think there's only nationals now. So yeah, so we can expect something to happen in November, and that will probably happen in, you know, follow one hitting in English as well. So that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, like and subscribe if you like Luad. Mention it in the comments below. But yeah, I think the top 2 Luad decks that we saw today are basically the perfect Luad decks. So solve, boys. Solve. See you guys in the next video. Bye.